Good evening and welcome back to Just a Little Bit. It's been a while since we've had the opportunity to meet and just talk and have a conversation. Yeah, we can blame it on COVID, we can blame it on a lot of other things, but the truth is things happen in life that will stop you in your tracks and cause you to back up and take a look at what's really going on. I'm here to remind you that Just a Little Bit is brought to you in part by Destination Sis Trump, Broward County Cultural Division and Greater Fort Lauderdale Convention and Visitors Bureau. Just a little bit is just that. It's just a little bit of news from several different sources of black news from around the African diaspora. And I'm going to change up a little bit today and talk briefly about the West Side Gazette and its 50-year anniversary and what that means to me and what it means to our community. In so doing, I wrote a piece last week, and I want to just read a little bit about that because it touches my heart. And I'll just start off by saying, if you want to appreciate an anniversary, you got to go back and look through some of the forming moments that it captures in print. Love and homage are two of the tools used to build a lasting legacy. And once used, these tools are transformed into jewels, jewels that should be placed on the crowns of those who dare to build. I understand why your keepsakes are so important and why the responsibility of recording and preserving history is more important than guarding gold mines. Perhaps you, like me, never look at what you did was more important than what you are doing. Caught up in the moments of life, moving at the speed of thought leaves no time to think past that moment. And before you know it, 50 years, half a century, 600 months, 2,608,088 weeks, 18,262,013 days, 1,577,8,047 600 seconds have passed and you are baffled. You look in the mirror and what was once youth now is replaced by wisdom and the look of age. 50 years of bathing in life of others can rub off in so many ways that leave the curators wounded, alive, transparent, and wondering, what the hell just happened? There were those that started on the journey right beside you, working with you hand in hand, and now they are angels in heaven watching over you. In one article, or 1,000, I could never give justice to our 50 years of service to these communities of which allowed us to be part of their family, while joining them in jubilant celebrations, shouting louder than them in some cases, also crying and mourning in losses and in defeat, wanting to trade places if we could, because life is much more than that. Life is time, and time is eternity. Looking through some of our first newspapers, I was transposed to a place that first touched my mind and brought back the remembrance of where we started from. And then it allowed me to remember those who believed in what we were doing and those who played a part in setting the foundation that allowed us to be here a half a century later. Yes, filling the pages, in my fingers, I felt the pulse and the strength of who we are through who we were and who they were. Every worn, tattered, and discolored page was saturated with what was needed for us to get here. And that is what God planned. Yes, the West Side Gazette was born like other obligations, answers in history, out of a necessity for service to the advancement of a people to not be invisible. We do understand wholeheartedly and embrace the fact that we did not come this far by ourselves, and there ain't no way we could go farther. Without the energies, the spirits, the people, and prayers that have propelled us and in some instances carried us, and in so doing laid a path for us to follow. If not, we would be lost. Like our beginning, some 18,262,013 days ago, it was the cause out of a necessity for service to the advancement of a people and those who believe that the cause is needed, that we are here. And for that, we say thank you. Knowing that we don't exist without each other, I purposely have not mentioned any names as of yet, leaving that as a thread to bind the pages of our history together. Dear God, in the name of Jesus, we pray that your tender care used to place what we need from people to things, in other words, our daily bread, in our 50 years be extended as long as you so see fit. And we give you all the credit, all the praise, and all our love. In Jesus' name, amen. This segment, 40 on the 40, is 40 seconds on the history, faith, strength, and endurance of Black people. We implore you to find out more about these historians. And I'm going to stay in the vein of the West Side Gazette, Broward County's oldest and largest Black-owned newspaper. And I say that proudly. No, I'm not a racist. I'm a realist. I believe in what it is. And what it is that we are a Black publication. Yes, we cater to the African diaspora, and that includes everybody. The West Side Gazette was founded February the 15th, 1971. It was founded when my daddy was misquoted by one of the daily papers. And my father went to the paper to ask them to recant the story, and they refused to. So my daddy, being the country boy that he is from North Carolina, he said, I'll go out and I'll find somebody that will tell the story. When he went out and asked around and tried to find a Black source that he could relate to and rely on, he found out that there was no Black newspaper. So my daddy, in all his infinite wisdom and strength, he started the West Side Gazette newspaper. He started this newspaper with a gift from my sister. Her Christmas gift was a typewriter. My mother, not my maternal mother, but my second mother, was a nurse. She quit her profession to become the first editor of the West Side Gazette. My mama and my daddy and that typewriter began the legacy and the history of the West Side Gazette through the blood and sweat of other people. I dare not name all of them. I'll just name a few. Carlton Times, Jeannie Woods, Congressman Al C. Hastings, Al Calloway. The list goes on and on. Frank Foose, on and on. The members of the Elks, the members of the New Mount Olive Baptist Church, Reverend George E. Weaver, Reverend Matt King Carter. All those people had a hand in creating the foundation that we stand on. There's more to the story. I dare not bore you with it, but I shall ask that you read and continue to read the pages of a Black newspaper. There you will find our true history in the pages of Black newspaper, starting from the first one in 1827, the Freedom's Journal. Thank you. This is the part I truly like. I get a chance to talk to young people. Young people really have something to say. And for those of us who were young at one time, you can relate to this. And my next guest, our next guest, is the one and only, and if I mess her name up, blame it on my head and not my heart, Khloe Alexis Hall. Khloe is 10 years old, and she's a fourth grader at St. Gregory, the great Catholic school. Currently, she's learning through a virtual learning setting. Khloe is a part-time employee at her mom's food and beverage concession. Now, her mom is another story all in herself, and I can see where Khloe gets it from. So please join me in welcoming Miss Khloe Alexis Hall to the stage. All right, Khloe, how are you?
Good.
Okay. You want to tell me, give me a little bit more about yourself. I have a little bit here, but I want you to tell us who Khloe is.
Well, I liked playing tennis. I'm very sporty. I like going outside, riding my bike, going on my scooter. I like staying in sometimes at the house, and I like relaxing. I like going to work with my mom. I like going to school. I like math, and social studies.
Okay, good. That's a part of history. That's good. Chloe, I do know something about you, though, and I found that out just in our first meeting, is that you're open and you're honest, and you don't mind sharing what you feel in a way that doesn't hurt somebody's feeling, and I appreciate that. Because
Okay.
when I ask you about my hair, I know my hair is wild, and I can it can use a trimming. You said to me so politely, it could be trimmed, and that says a lot. Do you find it that easy to talk to strangers?
Well, I guess so. I mean, I like it doesn't. Some people, like you can't just say stuff about them like that because you'll know what's going on. Like you'll know why they're like that. If they have like issues or they're having problems that you don't know about because you don't know them.
Wow. You sure you're not a psychologist?
No.
You just analyzed me in that instance. And that's great. Aside from your other talents, your entrepreneurial skills, where did that come from?
Uh, I think it's just by watching like really big, huge role models to me, like my mom, and I'm a big fan, and I think she's my role model, Michelle Obama, because she's like really an inspiration for me to be my better self,
Hmm.
and try to work really hard and learn.
Hmm.
And I think she'll be a really good, and I think she is a really good role model for black girls.
Hmm. Hmm. So aside from all of this that you do, your work at Starbucks and Einstein Brothers Bagel and all your other mother's businesses and your business, what do you really enjoy? Oh, you told me what you enjoy. But let me ask you this, Chloe, if you could sit 10 young black girls down and talk to them, what would you tell them?
Well, well, I would probably say I'll teach them about like Black history and stuff because I like to tell people about it, try to teach them things that they should be aware of, and also just I'll tell them like stuff like, maybe you can learn. I'll teach them about stuff like Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, and stuff that happened in Black history.
Hmm. So you seem to really um, um, like Black history. What is it that you enjoy, and not necessarily why, but what makes it so important to you, Chloe?
Because I get to learn a little bit about our history. I get to learn about like what things come from. Like why is there so much racism? And I know why because I learn it every day. Like I learn it every day when I read books. I learn it about like Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, and a bunch of other huge Black people who made a big impact to Black history and made a big change.
Hmm. Change. You're making a change right now. You're going to be a change. You're going to create history because our history has to live, and it's going to live through you. What would you want to be known for? What would be your footprint in history, Chloe?
Um, well, I would want to probably try to help. I would probably want to join the march for protesting for Black Lives Matter because I know still pretty young now and things could get a little dangerous, even though they're peaceful protesting. But once I get older, I would really like to join the Black protest and try to make things a little bit more right. I know I can't make all of it right because there's a lot of it, but at least if I could just put it down just a little bit, I could help more people and stop bad things that happening to Black people.
There's a movie on right now. If your mother would allow you to watch it, uh, uh, the Black Judas, the Black Messiah. It is a point of history that it's a good conversation piece. There is some stuff in it, but I'm sure your mother could smooth the edges for you. It's extremely important. It gives an understanding to a part of history that a lot of people who don't know it are afraid of it. You ever heard of the Black Panthers?
Yes.
Okay. Not the movie, but the black.
Actual
Yes,
animal.
yes. Okay, well, our time is winding up, Chloe. I want to present this shirt to you, but that's yours. We're going to keep that right there. But before we go, what would you want to tell somebody? Um, okay, if somebody was suffering, okay, lost everything, just don't have hope, what would you tell them, Chloe, to lift them up?
I would tell them it's okay. I'm going to help you because I would help that person try to feel better. Because if they lost everything, I'll try to be their friend. And if they lost everything, like you said, and they have no hope, I'll try to give them hope. I'll try to have a reason to be happy and hopeful to others and to them.
Wow. Thank you. You have just hoped me, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Chloe. All right. Okay. In this segment, Sankofa, which is the Twa word that means to go back and fetch, we get a chance to touch history, our history. And again, it's so much going on, and I'm so elated to have the privilege and the honor to be able to say, I know this person. I actually know this person. So our next guest is really a history maker, not only in Broward County, but across the country and nationally, across the United States of America. So please help me welcome to the stage Miss Gloria Kemp Jackson. Yeah. Well, Miss Gloria Jackson.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm doing fine and living color.
Okay, so what are you doing now, Miss Jackson, aside from being one of our great guidance counselors, our great educators? What are you doing now?
Looking at TV at home.
Well, you know, Miss Jackson, you deserve a break now, because you have put some miles on, you put some miles out there doing a whole lot of stuff. Tell me a little bit about your involvement with the Democratic Party.
Well, the Democratic Party, I got involved very young.
Mm-hmm.
And when most of the time, at least the first 5 or near 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
there were 5 blacks active in the Democratic Party.
Only 5?
Only 5 out of 300 folk.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was elected head of the Democratic Party for Broward County.
Wait a minute. Miss Gloria Kemp Jackson, little lady from Broward County, you were the head of the Democratic Party?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I remember
Yes.
some of the things that you did.
Yes.
Okay, now,
Yes, that's the same time when I met Clinton, because I even had Mrs. Clinton in Mount Hermon. I had her to visit us.
Anybody
in
that
Mount
came
Hermon.
here, I bet you took them to Mount Hermon, didn't
But anyway,
Yes, ma'am.
I went and I was surprised. I stepped out and talked to a number of black folk to come and join because I said I'm there almost by myself. But they, I was talking and I had a few. There's I can't call her name right now, but she was a Broward County elected official. Lori Parrish.
Oh,
Laura Parrish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And talking with them, and I just wanted to see them do something for us, the black community, since I was born here on 10th Avenue.
On 5th Avenue.
Huh?
On 5th Avenue.
10th Avenue.
10th Avenue. Oh, Miss Jackson.
One of 14 children.
Oh, Miss Jackson. 10th Avenue, one of 14 children.
Uh-huh.
Wow. So
Yes.
I guess you are accustomed dealing with adversities coming from a house of 14 children.
And number 4 of the 14.
Wow. Miss Jackson, now I know you have been involved with several organizations. I do remember your involvement with the Elks in Fort Lauderdale. How was that? How compared to then and now? How was that?
It was not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was involved with the Elks because my uncle, Nathaniel Kemp, helped with everything around there. And my aunt, Sarah Kemp, was a state officer in the Elks. And I'll tell you, it was very difficult. And with my father and mother divorced early, and we didn't have much, so there were times Mom would take us out of school for weeks and months. Had to work on the farm. So I did a lot. Yes, I did that. I had to work on the farm at an early age.
Miss Jackson, I had no idea.
In Tennessee, in New Jersey, Belglade. Yes, I had to work a lot.
I wish we had some of them pictures. I cannot picture this lovely person, this lady in this fine dress, but she worked on the farm.
Oh, yes. I realized that being active in politics was mostly the way things were started and handled. And as I said, I was one of 5 members out of over 300 members. And a short time after I was there, and I used to challenge, them many times, I was asked at Laura Carriage and a number of the elected officials asked me to become chair of the party. And we had about 300 members. And as I said, there were about 5 blacks. And starting off, there were only a few, about 2 or 3 blacks. But anyway, I guess because I was, the way I was at Jalb, I talked a lot.
You talked yourself into?
I talked a lot, so I talked, and they asked me about running for the party chair.
Miss Jackson,
and I did.
You talked yourself right into nominated for the Women's Hall of Fame for your significant contributions to the society and to the progress and freedom of women. That in itself, Miss Jackson, says a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the Presidential Scholars Program. Wow, Miss Jackson.
Yeah, I was appointed by President Clinton to the White House Commission on Presidential Scholars, and they sent me to and from Washington, D.C. I had to fly up there, and most of the time I would fly up there in the morning and then come back late that evening. And I had to choose the top students of the whole United States.
Wow.
And they were such brilliant kids.
I wasn't in that group, Miss Jackson. Why didn't you put me in that group?
Next time.
Miss Jackson, we're going to have to come back and discuss some other things because you are truly a Sankofa moment. You have so much to give and so much for us to go back and pull. And we can't do it, and we cannot do it in one setting. I'm just proud that Dr. Nadine Hankinson thought enough to bring you up here so we could have this conversation. You are truly a part of our history, and we need to do something so others will know who Gloria Kemp Jackson is. Little farm girl from Tennessee. Not now?
No, they helped to raise me from high school on. I stayed with them, but I was Barr, B-A-R-R.
Barr! Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, Miss Jackson, I can honestly say that you certainly have gone beyond the call of duty, and you're willing to extend it to help others. And we are so grateful that you are here and that you have set a trail and set a mark for us to reach at.
Well, listen, I need to say something before I leave from here. I am so proud of you, your dad, and everybody for bringing the newspaper to us.
Yes, ma'am.
And bringing the news, because I like to know what's going on.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've done such an excellent job, and I'm sure the community appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Jackson.
You're quite welcome.
Okay. To relive every moment and to have an opportunity just to be embraced by a gentle kiss from the past is something else. Which brings us up to the future. Now, the future cannot go further if we don't have the proper leadership and people in position to make things happen. Be they from the area or they come from Portsmouth, Ohio, along the Ohio River banks, or from wherever they come from. And I am really astonished at the fact that our next guest has actually been in business for 35 years. That means it was 15 years after we started, and I did not know that. So please, y'all help me bring Miss Sheryl A. Dickey to the stage. Hey, yes, Sheryl.
Mr. Henry.
What's happening?
Oh, just happy to be here.
This is the segment where we talk about what's happening.
Okay.
And you are worthy for us to talk about, Sheryl.
Well, thank you.
And I mean that. Like I said, I'm saying, oh my God, it's been that long?
Yes.
28?
Yes. Yes.
My son. No, it was Brody wasn't even.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
exactly.
right. That's right.
Exactly.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Miss Sheryl A. Dickey, may I ask what the A stands for, please?
And
Sheryl Ann Dickey?
yes.
It's a pleasure.
Well,
tell me, what do you do, Sheryl? I can read your stuff, but no, you tell us.
Okay. Yes. So coming from Ohio, I actually ran the small and developing business division for the state of Ohio under the Dick Celeste administration from 86 to 90, 91. Then I went on to the Port Authority of Toledo to do the same thing. So what was I doing? I was doing economic development, helping businesses retool themselves.
Helping business.
Yes,
That's what I'm
helping
talking
businesses
about.
retool themselves. Back in Ohio, we had low interest loan programs and training programs and technical assistance programs. And so I essentially administered those programs for the state of Ohio and then the Toledo Port Authority.
And that was 80 in the mid 80s?
Yes, the mid 80s on to 90, 91. Then I went to the port and worked there for roughly a year and came to Fort Lauderdale as the economic development director for the city of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, so now when we look at, when we look at the basis for economic development here in Fort Lauderdale, you were a part of that.
Yes, came here and was introduced to Sistrunk Boulevard through the city manager at that time was George Hanbury, who's now the president of Nova Southeastern University. But back then of course the whole development was just underway. They had, of course, as you well know, and the people who grew up here like Mr. Jackson and others, had already disassembled Fifth Street and 7th Avenue and that whole area, moved people out and demolished the homes. And so now we were in the redevelopment age. And so I ran the Economic Development Department for the city of Fort Lauderdale for a couple of years before getting laid off, actually. And then when that happened, I went to the Blockbuster Park program. It disassembled after 6 months, and that's when I said I got to start my own business.
Okay, so through some disheartening things, you started
adversity.
brought forth this gym.
Right. That is true. That is true.
So, sure. Let me. So I don't want to jump too far, but what do you see in the making, for economics and black folk here?
I've always had the vision and had been saying it really for the last 26 years, 28 years really when I first came here, is that this was a gym. The black community in Fort Lauderdale is, as far as I'm concerned, part of downtown Fort Lauderdale. We're only a couple of blocks away. We can look right over there from this building and see downtown Fort Lauderdale. The major transportation corridor is there. As we all know, Brightline is there. The bus station is there, and they're going to be doing a lot of development with the penny tax coming through in transportation. Right. So the black community can take advantage of that. There's a need for so many different professional folks, from architects, engineers, more public relations, community outreach folks, in addition to developers. I'm going to say developers because we do not have enough developers here developing people of color, and I'm going to say specifically black people who can develop, because other people of color are developing. Hispanics, Mideasterners, all of those folks have taken and been a part of buying up property in our community and developing it and basically having businesses for years.
Okay. When you pointed, you said you can look right out. Whose building are we in, Sheryl?
We're in Sheryl Dickey's building.
And where are we, Sheryl?
We're in the Midtown Commerce Center, and Dickey Consulting Services leases space upstairs, and Destination Sistrunk is here.
Let me understand what you just said. So if I wanted to be a part of this, if I wanted to look out my window and see downtown Fort Lauderdale,
Yes.
I could lease space in a black-owned building.
That is correct.
Mhm.
Yes, and we welcome you. Please come.
What do we need to do, Sheryl, to get in contact with you
Well,
to come to this building?
All you have to do is call the number 954-467-6822 or send me an email. And it can be at info@dickeyinc.com, and we'll call you right back, email you back, and tell you what you need to do to lease space here.
And people, this is serious business. You have an opportunity to really come in and be an anchor in this community by being a part of helping another black business establish your business, and then eventually you can have a place to grow.
That's right, because that's what we
That's
want to
what
do.
you do, Sheryl.
That's exactly what we do. We want to grow people here and then get you to build your own building or to be a part of a development initiative to continue this with other blacks so that we can help grow each other. That is exactly what we want to do.
Okay. Is there anything happening now that we could be a part of, that someone can come in and perhaps get some tutelage or,
Yes.
or just be around
Yes.
the beehive where the honey is coming from?
That's it. That's it. That's exactly what Destination Sistrunk and Dickey Consulting Services here at Midtown Commerce Center is wanting to do. We are basically incubating small businesses, and there are several groups that are here, and I know that Dr. Henderson is going to talk about that next week, so we don't want to steal that thunder.
Okay.
But there will be additional businesses. They're already here. They're coming, and we're inviting additional businesses to come here and to be in this space. The space that you and I are in now is 2,000 square feet, and so people can come here during the day and actually work from as a workspace. In addition to having training initiatives here, they can teach here. They can have actual musical events here, videotaping, just like we're doing. And so there's just many opportunities here in the building. We have upstairs executive conference room where people can have conferences as well as training initiatives that are big enough to really house 30 people or so. So this is actually an incubation.
You know, and Sheryl, I know our audience can't see, but there are some distinguished people that have come by and been a part of what is actually going on in here, to have their hands on trying to make it happen.
That's right.
You know, so
That's
it
right.
is a community venture.
That's right. That's right.
But it's a community venture of like-minded people
That's right.
who have the interest of the community
That's right.
at heart.
That's right.
You know,
That's
even
right.
though it's prime location, you know, you
That's
gotta earn your space by taking care of your. I
That's-
don't want to steal your stuff. You tell me.
No, you know you've got the voice. You've got the voice. That's exactly right. So we want people who are concerned about growing this community and not just building here, taking the money and running back someplace else. We want you to reinvest in the community, reinvest in the people in this community. And that's what it's all about. Otherwise, we're not going to be sustainable.
Okay.
And we're interested in sustaining the community.
Okay.
And as we grow it as well.
And like me, if you don't know, or you have shunned the responsibility of knowing, there are those who are here that will teach you and educate you.
Yes, yes, absolutely. All we need is for people to listen and to be a part of wanting to be what you talked about. You got to know your past in order to actually move forward in the future, and that's what our people have got to begin to do. Not be ashamed of where we come from. Want to learn more about what we're doing, where we came from, what our history is. As we all know, there are inventors who have been ignored, not in the history books. We have brilliant minds, and we don't need to destroy them with drugs and alcohol and misinformation. You can also destroy your mind with misinformation,
Yes.
whether you're on drugs or alcohol or not. Sometimes it's a part of misinformation. So we're interested in making sure people are wanting to hear the truth about where we come from. Just as you were saying earlier, we're all from the African tribe. We just splintered off, whether we're from the Caribbean or South or Central America, or what I call the blacks from the American South because of slavery, and or quite frankly, along the eastern seaboard. We all have been brought here in some fashion, whether we were slaves or free. And so we have to understand that we're really all one.
You know something, Sheryl, Dickey, you are something else. You truly are. It's a pleasure talking with you. I mean,
Thank
you
you.
know, not only are you well versed in economic development, you're well versed in understanding the culture of what it takes for us to get where we need to be economically.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
and I am certainly grateful for that.
And I'm grateful for you
Yeah.
and the West Side Gazette and all the people that have come around
Oh,
to
man.
be a part of us.
Yeah, it's been something else.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Sure, we got to have you back.
Okay, would love to come back.
You're going to be back.
All
with,
right.
with that being said, Destination Sis Truck. All right, it's an experience, it's an educational process, it's a place where you can come get nurtured, understand your history, and be a part of making history. Now, this is Black History Month. With that being said, in order for us to continue to recognize our history, that means we got to continually make history. So do yourself a favor. Go out and make history. And I also want to tell you that just a little bit is brought to you in part by Destination Sis Trunk, Broward County Cultural Division, and Greater Fort Lauderdale Convention and Visitors Bureau. Destination Sis Trunk is a door to explore Black history, heritage in the Greater Fort Lauderdale area. For more information, y'all can come on down to Sheryl Dickey's building, or you can visit us at www.destinationsistrunk.com. And remember, it's all good in the good. Thank you.